The Arrival. The Galactic Academy of Advanced Sciences and Combat, GAASC, bustled with activity as students from across the known universe filtered through its hallways. Beings of all shapes, sizes, and compositions hurried to their classes, creating a kaleidoscope of alien life that would have bewildered any outsider. Zixelaria, a quantumite from the gaseous plains of Nebula Prime, floated gracefully above the crowd. Her translucent body shimmered with bursts of colorful energy as she processed the latest gossip circulating through the Academy's hive mind network. "Did you hear?" She pulsed excitedly to her friend Gloop, a Moldavian slime entity oozing along beside her. "They say we're getting a new exchange student today." Gloop burbled skeptically, forming a series of complex shapes to communicate. Another one. "We just got that Crystalian last cycle. What's so special about this one?" Zixelaria's form flickered with anticipation. "You won't believe it. They say it's a human." The corridor fell silent as nearby students halted in their tracks. A Voltrox student accidentally short-circuited, sending sparks flying from its metallic appendages. "A human," whispered Krithok, a reptiloid from the jungle world of Slith. "But that's impossible. They're just myths, scary stories told to frighten hatchlings." Gloop formed a series of rapid bubbles, its equivalent of nervous laughter. "Next you'll be telling us they're sending a Deathworlder." Zixelaria pulsed with smug satisfaction. "That's exactly what I'm telling you. Humans come from Earth, a certified Deathworld." The crowd erupted into a frenzy of chatter, clicks, whistles, and telepathic exclamations. Deathworlders were the stuff of legends, beings supposedly forged in the crucibles of the galaxy's most inhospitable planets. To most species, the very idea of surviving on a Deathworld was inconceivable. As the commotion grew, a commanding voice cut through the noise. "Students, to your classes immediately." Professor Xandrelix, a respected hive mind core, materialized in the center of the hallway. His multifaceted eyes scanned the crowd, restoring order with a mere glance. As the students dispersed, Zixelaria and Gloop made their way to Xenobiology 101. They settled into their adaptive learning pods, joining a diverse array of classmates. There was Zorblax, a gaseous entity contained within a high-tech suit, and Phaler, an energy being that existed as a sentient force field. Professor Xandrelix's many eyes focused on the class. "Today, we have a unique opportunity. We'll be welcoming a new student from a world many of you have only heard about in stories. I expect you all to show the utmost respect and curiosity. Remember, the Galactic Academy values diversity in all its forms." The class murmured in anticipation. Suddenly, the door slid open with a soft hiss. A figure stepped into the room, and every student felt their breath catch, or whatever their species equivalent was. The human stood on two legs, its body covered in some sort of artificial skin that didn't seem to offer any real protection. It had only 2 arms and 2 eyes, and strangest of all, it was covered in a thin layer of fur on the top of its head. The being looked alarmingly fragile compared to the armored, tentacled, or energy-based life forms that filled the classroom. "Hello," the human said, its sound-based communication surprisingly clear. "I'm Alex. It's a pleasure to meet you all." Professor Xandrelix gestured with one of his many limbs. "Welcome, Alex. Please, tell the class a bit about yourself and your homeworld." Alex smiled, a gesture that caused several students to flinch, mistaking it for a sign of aggression. "Well, I'm from Earth. It's a planet with a wide range of environments. Oceans, deserts, forests, mountains. We have a saying, variety is the spice of life." Zorblax raised a tentacle. "Is it true that your world has extreme temperature variations? How do you survive?" Alex chuckled. "Oh, it's not so bad. We've adapted. In some places, it can get as cold as -50 degrees Celsius, or as hot as 50 degrees Celsius, but we've developed ways to cope." The class gasped collectively. Such temperature ranges would be lethal to most species in the room. Failer's energy field pulsed with curiosity. And the gravity? We've heard it's crushing. About 9.8 meters per second squared. Alex replied casually. Pretty standard for us. Gloop nearly lost cohesion at this revelation. Most advanced species evolved on worlds with far lower gravity. As Alex continued to answer questions, the initial fear in the classroom began to shift into fascination. This seemingly fragile creature had survived conditions that would kill most of them instantly. Zixelaria couldn't contain her excitement. What about your defenses? Surely you must have incredible natural armor or weapons. Alex laughed, a sound that startled the class with its warmth. Not really. We're pretty squishy, to be honest. But we're adaptable, and we've learned to use our brains to overcome our physical limitations. Professor Xandrelix's eyes glimmered with interest. Indeed, class. This is why the study of xenobiology is so crucial. Appearances can be deceiving, and strength comes in many forms. Alex here represents a species that has thrived in conditions we would consider impossible. There's much we can learn from each other. As the class continued, the alien students found themselves reassessing their preconceptions. This human, this Deathworlder, was nothing like the monster they had imagined. Alex was friendly, curious, and surprisingly vulnerable. Yet beneath that vulnerability, there was a sense of something more, a hint of the incredible resilience that had allowed humanity to survive and thrive on their harsh world. By the end of the class, excitement had replaced fear. The alien students crowded around Alex, eager to learn more about Earth and its inhabitants. As they left the classroom, Gloop formed a series of shapes that approximated a smile. You know, Zixelaria, it burbled. I think this year just got a lot more interesting. Zixelaria pulsed in agreement, her form shimmering with anticipation. The arrival of this human had opened up a galaxy of new possibilities, and she couldn't wait to see what would happen next. Little did they know, Alex's presence at the academy was about to challenge everything they thought they knew about strength, adaptability, and what it meant to be truly alien. The challenge. The news of Alex's arrival spread through the Galactic Academy like a quantum ripple, leaving excitement and apprehension in its wake. As the days passed, the initial shock of having a Deathworlder among them began to settle, replaced by a growing curiosity about the human's capabilities. It was during the third week of the semester that the Academy's most notorious tradition loomed on the horizon: the Galactic Gauntlet. The what now? Alex asked, leaning against a crystalline structure in the Academy's common area. A small group of alien students had gathered around, still fascinated by the human's every move. Zixelaria pulsed with a mix of excitement and concern. The Galactic Gauntlet. It's the Academy's ultimate test of survival skills and combat prowess. Every student must complete it to advance to the next year. Gloop oozed nervously. It's designed to push even the most advanced species to their limits. Most students come out looking like they've been through a supernova. Alex's eyebrows shot up, a gesture that still unnerved some of the alien students. Sounds intense. What kind of challenges are we talking about? Krthok, the reptiloid, flicked his tongue anxiously. Everything from extreme environmental hazards to combat simulations. It's different every year, but it's always brutal. Last year, Zordblax chimed in, his gaseous form swirling with agitation inside his containment suit. They had a gravity fluctuation chamber. Poor Graxenor from Lightweight VI was flattened into a pancake. Took the medbots a week to reinflate him. Alex whistled, another sound that made several students flinch. Well, that sounds like a party. When do we start? The alien students exchanged bewildered looks. Was the human joking? It was still hard for them to read Alex's expressions. Tomorrow, Phaler buzzed, her energy field crackling with nervous energy. And Alex, you should know. Many students are, well, betting on your performance. Oh, Alex raised an eyebrow, a gesture the others were slowly learning to interpret as curiosity. Zixelaria flickered apologetically. Some think you'll breeze through it, being a Deathworlder and all. others, they're betting on how quickly you'll be incapacitated. To everyone's surprise, Alex let out a hearty laugh. Well, I'd hate to disappoint either camp. Guess I'll just have to do my best. As Alex walked away to prepare, the alien students huddled together, their conversation a mix of worried whispers and excited speculation. The next morning, the entire academy buzzed with anticipation. Students and faculty alike gathered in the observation dome, overlooking the massive arena where the galactic gauntlet would take place. The arena itself was a technological marvel, capable of simulating a vast array of environments and challenges. Alex stood at the entrance with the other contestants, looking surprisingly calm in standard-issue academy training gear. The other students were decked out in various protective suits, exoskeletons, and energy shields. Professor Xandrelix's voice boomed through the arena. Students, you are about to face the greatest challenge of your academic careers. The Galactic Gauntlet is designed to test not just your physical abilities, but your problem-solving skills, adaptability, and courage. Remember, there is no shame in calling for extraction if you feel your life is in genuine danger. Good luck to you all. With a resounding klaxon, the gauntlet began. The first challenge materialized before them. A vast, bubbling swamp of acidic mud, interspersed with islands of unstable, floating debris. Most students immediately activated various levitation devices or force fields. Alex, however, simply took a deep breath and began to run. With shocking agility, the human leaped from one piece of debris to another, using momentum and balance in a way that left the observers gasping. Impossible, muttered Krathok, watching from the sidelines. The acidic fumes alone should be overwhelming their respiratory system. But Alex pressed on, occasionally grimacing at the caustic air, but never slowing down. When a particularly large gap appeared, instead of hesitating, Alex grabbed a long piece of debris, used it as a pole vault, and soared over the acid pool. The next challenge shifted the environment dramatically. The swamp vanished, replaced by a howling, freezing tundra. Icy winds carrying razor-sharp crystals blew fiercely across the arena. Several students, their environmental protection systems overwhelmed, signaled for immediate extraction. Alex, to everyone's amazement, simply zipped up their jacket and pressed on. The human's breath came out in visible puffs, but there was a glint of excitement in those alien eyes. Fascinating, Professor Xandrelix murmured, his many eyes fixed on the screens. The human's internal thermal regulation seems to be adapting in real time. As the challenges progressed, Alex faced gravity wells that would have crushed most species, radiation zones that should have caused immediate cellular breakdown, and complex puzzle rooms that tested cognitive functions under extreme stress. Through it all, the human pressed on with a mix of physical prowess, quick thinking, and what appeared to be sheer stubborn determination. Where advanced technology failed other contestants, Alex relied on surprisingly primitive but effective solutions. In one particularly harrowing moment, Alex fashioned a makeshift shield from debris to deflect energy blasts in a combat simulation. The human's movements were a blur, dodging and weaving with an agility that belied their seemingly fragile form. It's not just about physical capabilities, Sixlaria realized, her form shimmering with excitement. Look at how they're analyzing each situation, adapting on the fly. It's beautiful. The final challenge was a direct combat scenario against combat drones designed to exploit each species' weaknesses. The arena filled with a cacophony of blasts, thuds, and the occasional cry of a student admitting defeat. Alex stood in the center of a ring of advancing drones, looking battered but far from beaten. What happened next would be talked about in the academy for years to come. With a series of moves that seemed to defy physics, Alex began to use the drones against each other. A leap here, a dodge there, and suddenly drones were firing upon each other, falling into traps meant for the human. They're using the environment, gasped Phaler. Every piece of debris, every failed trap from the previous challenges. It's all becoming a weapon. In a matter of minutes, Alex stood alone in the arena, surrounded by the disabled forms of combat drones. The human was breathing heavily, covered in scrapes and bruises, but very much alive and standing. A stunned silence fell over the observation dome, broken only by the sound of Professor Xandrelix's voice. Challenge complete. Cadet Alex, congratulations on setting a new Academy record. As medical drones rushed to attend to the exhausted human, the alien students looked at each other in awe. Everything they thought they knew about strength, about the definition of advanced species, had been challenged. Gloop formed a series of rapid bubbles that approximated a chuckle. Well, it burbled. I guess we all just learned an important lesson about judging a species by its exoskeleton. As Alex was led away for medical attention, the buzz of excited conversation filled the Academy. The Deathworlder had not just survived the galactic gauntlet. They had excelled in ways no one had thought possible. It was clear to everyone that this was just the beginning of a journey that would challenge not just Alex, but every preconception the galactic community held about humanity. In the medical bay, as drones worked to patch up the various cuts and bruises, Alex allowed a small, tired smile. The human knew that tomorrow would bring a barrage of questions, but for now, there was satisfaction in knowing that the first big hurdle had been overcome. The real challenge, bridging the gap between humanity and the galactic community, was just beginning. Defying expectations, the days following Alex's remarkable performance in the galactic gauntlet were a whirlwind of activity at the Academy. The human had become an overnight sensation, the subject of intense curiosity, scientific inquiry, and no small amount of trepidation. Alex sat in the cafeteria, poking at a plate of synthesized nutrient cubes designed to approximate Earth cuisine. A crowd of alien students hovered nearby, trying to appear casual while stealing glances at the Deathworlder. Zixelaria, emboldened by her previous interactions with Alex, floated over. "Mind if we join you?" She pulsed, indicating herself, Gloop, and a few other curious students. Alex smiled, gesturing to the empty seats. "Please be my guest. Though I have to warn you, I'm not sure this stuff actually qualifies as food." The human prodded a green cube suspiciously. As the alien students settled around the table, some sitting, others hovering, and Glooped simply spreading itself across a portion of the surface, the barrage of questions began. "How did you withstand the acid fumes?" Krafok asked, his scales shimmering with curiosity. "And the freezing temperatures?" Zorblax added, his gaseous form swirling excitedly in his containment suit. Alex chuckled, a sound the aliens were starting to associate with friendly amusement rather than a threat display. Honestly, a lot of it was just pushing through. Humans have this saying, mind over matter. Sometimes, if you tell yourself you can endure something, you'd be surprised at what you can handle. Failer's energy field crackled skeptically. But surely there must be more to it. Some hidden biological advantage. Alex shrugged, another gesture the aliens were learning to interpret. "Well, we are pretty adaptable. Earth has a wide range of environments, and throughout our history, humans have found ways to survive in all of them. As for the acid and the cold, let's just say it wasn't my first time dealing with harsh conditions." The conversation was interrupted by the arrival of Professor Xandrelix, accompanied by a team of eager xenobiologists. "Ah, Alex," the professor's many eyes blinked in sequence, a sign of excitement. "We were hoping you might agree to some additional tests, purely voluntary. Of course, but your performance has raised some fascinating questions about human physiology and capabilities." Alex raised an eyebrow. "What kind of tests are we talking about?" What followed was a series of experiments that left the xenobiology department in a state of chaotic excitement. Alex's endurance, reflexes, problem-solving skills, and adaptability were put to the test in increasingly complex scenarios. In the physical endurance lab, Alex ran on a gravity-adjusting treadmill until the machine overheated, long past the point where most species would have collapsed. The xenobiologists muttered excitedly about lactic acid tolerance and efficient oxygen utilization. The reflexes test turned into an impromptu sport, with Alex dodging holographic projectiles in a display that left the observers stunned. "It's not just about speed," Alex tried to explain. "It's about reading patterns, anticipating trajectories. Plus, I played a lot of dodgeball as a kid." But it was the problem-solving tests that really captured the Academy's attention. Alex was presented with puzzles and scenarios that had been designed to challenge the most advanced AI systems in the galaxy. The humans' approach was unconventional, to say the least. In one memorable instance, Alex was placed in a sealed room with a complex locking mechanism. While the observers expected a carefully reasoned approach to decoding the lock, Alex simply found a structural weak point and broke through the wall. Sometimes, Alex grinned at the bewildered xenobiologists. The simplest solution is the best one. As the tests progressed, a pattern began to emerge. It wasn't that humans were superior in any one area. Many species could boast greater strength, speed, or sensory perception. What set Alex apart was an incredible versatility, an ability to adapt and improvise that bordered on the miraculous. "It's remarkable," Professor Exandrelix mused, reviewing the data. "The human's individual capabilities, while impressive, are not beyond our understanding. It's the combination of these traits, coupled with their problem-solving approach, that makes them so formidable." The alien students watched these proceedings with a mix of awe and growing camaraderie. Alex's friendly demeanor and willingness to explain human perspectives were breaking down barriers of fear and misconception. One evening, as Alex sat with a now familiar group of alien friends, Gloop burbled thoughtfully. "You know, Alex, when you first arrived, many of us were afraid. The stories we'd heard about Deathworlders, well, they weren't flattering." Alex nodded, understanding in their eyes. "I get it. Humans have a history of being afraid of the unknown too. But that's why places like this academy are so important. We learn from each other, see past the stereotypes." Zixelaria pulsed in agreement, her colors shifting to warm, friendly hues. "You've certainly challenged our preconceptions, but there's one thing I still don't understand. With all your capabilities, why come here? Surely human educational institutions must be intense." Alex's expression turned thoughtful. "That's just it. Earth is, well, it's home. But it's just one planet. Out here, the human gestured at the starfield visible through the Academy's windows. There's a whole galaxy of knowledge, perspectives, and experiences we've barely begun to understand. Humans are explorers at heart. We want to learn, to discover, to push boundaries, not just physical ones, but boundaries of understanding." The alien students absorbed this, a new appreciation dawning in their various sensory organs. They were beginning to see that the very traits that made humans dangerous, their adaptability, their drive, their willingness to face the unknown, were also what made them valuable allies and friends. As the group continued their discussion late into the night, swapping stories of their homeworlds and cultures, a sense of excitement permeated the air. The arrival of Alex, this representative of a species many had dismissed as myth or menace, was changing things. Boundaries were being crossed, assumptions challenged, and new possibilities were opening up. Little did they know, these late-night discussions were laying the groundwork for collaborations that would soon reshape the understanding of galactic society. The true impact of having a human at the Galactic Academy was only beginning to unfold, promising a future where the strengths of all species could be recognized and celebrated. As Alex bid goodnight to their new friends and headed to their quarters, there was a spring in the human step. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new mysteries to unravel. And for a species that thrived on pushing boundaries, there was no greater excitement than that. Unraveling the mystery. As weeks turned into months at the Galactic Academy, the initial shock of Alex's presence had evolved into a complex tapestry of curiosity, admiration, and lingering unease. The human had become a fixture in various research projects, a sought-after study partner, and the subject of countless academic papers. One crisp morning, Alex found themselves in the Academy's state-of-the-art xenobiology lab, surrounded by a team of eager researchers led by Professor Xandrelix. The air buzzed with excitement as they prepared for a groundbreaking experiment. Now, Alex, Professor Xandrelix's many eyes blinked in sequence, a sign of both nervousness and anticipation. Today, we're going to attempt something unprecedented. We believe we've developed a method to safely simulate the conditions of Earth, allowing us to study your physiology in your native environment. Alex raised an eyebrow, a gesture the aliens had learned to associate with skepticism. Sounds intriguing, Professor, but I have to ask, why go to all this trouble? Zixlaria, who had become something of a research assistant due to her fascination with human biology, pulsed with excitement. Don't you see, Alex? Understanding how you function in your natural habitat could unlock countless mysteries about human adaptability. As Alex was carefully sealed in the simulation chamber, the observers held their breath, or equivalent respiratory functions. The chamber hummed to life, recreating Earth's gravity, atmospheric composition, and even simulating its various climates and terrains. What followed was a series of revelations that left the xenobiologists reeling. They watched in awe as Alex navigated through simulated deserts, tundras, and rainforests with ease. The human's body responded to each environment, sweating in the heat, shivering in the cold, always maintaining homeostasis. Extraordinary, murmured Professor Xandrelix, his tentacles twitching with excitement. The human body is constantly adjusting, not just reacting to the environment, but anticipating changes. But it was the simulation of Earth's varied gravity, from the crushing pressure of deep oceanic trenches to the thin air of high mountaintops, that truly astonished the observers. Alex's physiology demonstrated an incredible range of adaptation, far beyond what the aliens had thought possible. As Alex emerged from the chamber, slightly disheveled but grinning, the lab erupted in a cacophony of excited chatter, clicks, and telepathic exclamations. Alex, Gloop burbled, forming a series of impressed bubbles. How is it possible for one species to adapt to so many different conditions? The human shrugged, another gesture the aliens had come to recognize. Honestly, I'm not sure. We've been doing it for so long, it just feels normal. Earth is incredibly diverse, and throughout our history, humans have found ways to live pretty much everywhere. Professor Xandrelix's eyes gleamed with curiosity. But surely your species must have some technological assistance to survive in such varied environments. Alex chuckled. Oh, we definitely use technology. But a lot of it is surprisingly simple. Clothes for different climates, shelters, fire. Humans have a knack for using whatever's available to make harsh environments livable. The revelation sparked a new avenue of research. Over the next few weeks, the Academy buzzed with projects exploring the intersection of human adaptability and technological innovation. Alex found themselves at the center of it all, demonstrating everything from basic fire-making techniques to complex problem-solving under pressure. One evening, as Alex sat with their now close group of alien friends in the Academy's observation dome, Failer's energy field crackled with curiosity. Alex, there's something we've been wondering. With all this adaptability and resilience, why hasn't your species spread further into the galaxy? Alex's expression turned thoughtful, eyes gazing out at the star-filled expanse. That's a complicated question. Part of it is that we're still relatively new to interstellar travel, but it's also, well, we've made mistakes in our past. Times when our drive to explore and expand led to harm, both to ourselves and to our environment. The alien students listened intently, sensing the weight in Alex's words. I think, Alex continued, we're trying to be more cautious now, to learn from other species to understand our place in the galaxy before we rush to claim a bigger one. Zixlaria pulsed gently, her colors shifting to soothing hues. That's surprisingly wise. Many species, upon discovering their potential, rush to assert themselves. Alex nodded. We've learned the hard way that great power comes with great responsibility. That's part of why I'm here, not just to learn about the galaxy, but to help others understand humanity. We want to be partners in the galactic community, not conquerors. As the conversation flowed, touching on topics from Earth's history to its potential future role in galactic affairs, a sense of deepening understanding pervaded the group. The alien students were beginning to see humanity not just as a fascinating biological curiosity, but as a complex, multifaceted species with much to offer. Krthak, who had been quietly contemplative, finally spoke. "You know, Alex, when you first arrived, many of us feared what your presence might mean. A Deathworlder capable of feats we could barely comprehend. But now, I think I understand. Your strength isn't just in your ability to survive harsh conditions. It's in your willingness to learn, to adapt not just physically, but culturally." Alex smiled, touched by the reptiloid's words. "That means a lot, Krthak. And you're right. Our adaptability isn't just about surviving. It's about thriving, about finding ways to connect and cooperate, even in the most challenging circumstances." As the night wore on, the group's discussion ranged far and wide, from the potential applications of human-inspired technology in harsh environments to the philosophical implications of humanity's place in the cosmos. There was a growing sense that Alex's presence at the Academy was more than just an interesting anomaly. It was the beginning of a new chapter in galactic relations. Little did they know, events were unfolding across the galaxy that would soon put humanity's unique capabilities and the newfound understanding between species to the ultimate test. As Alex bid goodnight to their friends and headed to their quarters, there was a sense of anticipation in the air. The true impact of a human at the Galactic Academy was about to be revealed in ways none of them could have predicted. A new perspective. The Galactic Academy's grand auditorium buzzed with anticipation. Students and faculty from across the known universe had gathered for the annual Interstellar Symposium on Emerging Technologies and Cooperative Galactic Advancement. This year, however, there was an unprecedented level of excitement, largely due to one particular presenter. Alex stood backstage, taking deep breaths to calm the flutter of nerves in their stomach. The past year had been a whirlwind of discovery, challenges, and growing understanding. Now, it was time to share what they had learned, not just about the galaxy, but about humanity's potential role in it. Professor Exandrelix approached, his many eyes blinking in a pattern that Alex had come to recognize as encouragement. "Are you ready, Alex? This is a momentous occasion." Alex nodded, managing a smile. "As ready as I'll ever be, Professor. Though I have to admit, facing a room full of the galaxy's brightest minds is somehow more daunting than the galactic gauntlet." The professor's tentacles waved in what might have been a chuckle. "You'll do splendidly. Remember, you're not just representing Earth today. You're representing the potential for understanding between all species." As Alex stepped onto the stage, a hush fell over the auditorium. The human looked out at the sea of diverse life forms, some familiar, others beyond imagination, and felt a surge of awe at the vastness of galactic diversity. "Esteemed colleagues," Alex began, voice steady despite the nerves, "a year ago, I arrived at this academy as an anomaly, a representative of a species many of you had only heard of in legends or cautionary tales. Today, I stand before you not as a curiosity, but as a partner in our shared journey of discovery." Over the next hour, Alex presented a comprehensive overview of the research conducted over the past year. They discussed the unique adaptability of human physiology, the problem-solving approaches that had baffled and impressed xenobiologists, and the potential applications of human-inspired technologies in harsh environments across the galaxy. But it was the final part of the presentation that truly captured the audience's attention. However, the most important discovery wasn't about human capabilities, Alex said, voice filled with passion. It was about the power of cooperation, of combining the unique strengths of different species to overcome challenges none of us could face alone. Alex went on to describe several collaborative projects that had yielded remarkable results. There was the development of new environmental suits, inspired by human adaptability, but enhanced by quartzite crystalline technology. Another team had created advanced problem-solving algorithms, combining human lateral thinking with the vast processing power of hive mind species. As the presentation concluded, the auditorium erupted in a cacophony of applause, trills, telepathic approval, and bioluminescent displays of excitement. However, the moment of triumph was short-lived. Suddenly, the Academy's emergency alert system blared to life, its urgent tones cutting through the celebratory atmosphere. A holographic image of the Academy's security chief, a stern-looking Vortexian, appeared on stage. "Attention all personnel. We've received a distress signal from the Nebula Research Station in the Andromeda sector. They're facing a cascading systems failure due to an unexpected solar flare. The station's environment is rapidly deteriorating, and standard evacuation protocols are failing." A tense silence fell over the auditorium. The Nebula Research Station was known for its work in extreme environments, often pushing the very limits of survivable conditions for most species. Without hesitation, Alex stepped forward. "I volunteer to join the rescue mission." Murmurs of shock and concern rippled through the crowd. Professor Xandrelix's eyes widened in alarm. "Alex, the conditions at the station, they're beyond even what we've simulated. It would be incredibly dangerous, even for a human." Alex nodded gravely. "I understand, Professor, but this is exactly why I'm here. Humans don't just adapt to survive. We adapt to help others survive. And we're at our best when the stakes are highest." What followed was a flurry of activity as a rescue team was assembled. To everyone's surprise, several of Alex's alien friends also volunteered. Zixlaria's ability to navigate complex energy fields, Loop's malleable form ideal for accessing tight spaces, and Krithok's natural resistance to radiation could all prove invaluable. As the rescue ship prepared for departure, Alex stood with their team, a determined glint in their eyes. "Remember everything we've learned about working together, about combining our strengths. This is where it all pays off." The mission that followed would become legendary in the annals of the Galactic Academy. Against all odds, the team navigated the treacherous conditions of the failing station. Alex's ability to withstand extreme conditions and quick problem-solving skills proved crucial, but it was the seamless cooperation between the diverse team members that truly made the difference. In a heart-stopping final, the team managed to stabilize the station's core and evacuate all personnel just moments before a catastrophic meltdown. As the rescue ship sped away from the danger zone, carrying the grateful scientists to safety, a cheer went up that seemed to echo across the stars. Back at the Academy, the returning heroes were met with a hero's welcome. But amidst the celebration, there was a palpable sense that something fundamental had changed. In the days that followed, discussions in the Academy's halls took on a new tone. Species that had once viewed each other with suspicion or indifference now sought to understand each other's unique strengths and perspectives. During a quiet moment in the observation dome, Alex stood with their alien friends, gazing out at the star-filled expanse. "You know," Zixlaria pulsed softly, her colors shifting in a pattern of deep appreciation. "When you first arrived, we thought we were going to learn about humans. But in the end, you helped us learn about ourselves, about what we can achieve when we work together." Alex smiled, a warmth spreading through their chest. That's the thing about exploration, whether it's of space or of each other. The greatest discoveries are often the ones we never expected to make. As they stood there, a group of once disparate species now united in friendship and shared purpose, the future seemed to unfold before them. A future where the strengths of all species, humans included, would combine to face the challenges and wonders of the universe together. The Galactic Academy had always been a place of learning, but with the arrival of a human, it had become something more. A crucible for a new era of galactic cooperation, and as the stars twinkled in the vast expanse beyond, It was clear that this was just the beginning of an adventure that would span not just space, but the very boundaries of what was possible when different species came together, each bringing their unique strengths to face the unknown.